What's going on, guys? Prem Pods back with our first video of the season. Today we're going to be looking at Premier League relegation, some of the teams that could be finding themselves in that relegation dogfight, look at the odds, who the bookmakers think are the most likely teams to go down, and make our own predictions. Let's get right into it.
Let's go. Who are the favourites? Well, actually, before we do the favourites, close the list because that's a cheat for you as well. Who do you think's going down? Because the bookies normally get it right.
To be honest with you, the way that Fulham perform in the Premier League, even despite spending all the money that they get, I think Fulham and Norwich are just two of the same teams that they just wear different kits. Really, they just interchange. One wins the league the year before, one goes up, vice versa. That's it. They just swap places.
So you think Fulham are definitely going down?
Fulham will be my first team that will go down. Realistically, I can't really see Bournemouth. It's difficult because of the teams that have come up. Fulham and Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, really, they're all teams that could very easily go back down, very easily. Unless, they've made some decent signings, all three of those teams, but to be able to say if they're Premier League level yet is very, very difficult. What do you think?
Fulham are definitely going down. In my mind, anyway. They just have a player that is like Lionel Messi in the Championship, and then he's like Tammy Abraham when he comes up to the Premier League.
Hey, you can't mock Tammy Abraham, is he? He's one of your Europa League.
Or in fact, I'll say Shamak then, innit? Because I'll just take the piss out of our players, isn't it? Shamak when he's in the Premier League and Lionel Messi when he's in the Championship.
That is Mitrovic, to be fair. That is Mitrovic.
Doesn't know how to score in the Premier League. But yeah, Fulham, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I think Fulham are going to be the first team that go down. No matter what it is, they just don't seem to be able to make it work. Bournemouth have managed to find themselves being quite a consistent Premier League team in recent years, before obviously their most recent relegation. So I don't think Bournemouth are a team that are too far off coming up and being consistent in the Prem. I just think this year, because of how everyone else is kind of gone on from last year, especially the teams that like Leeds and Everton that were really in that relegation dogfight last year, they're going to improve, and they're not going to be anywhere near that level that they were at, to be honest, that I think that they were at last year.
You got Fulham, you got Bournemouth. Who's your third?
My third, well, to be fair, I've just mentioned one of them. I think Leeds could be in big trouble this season.
Leeds?
Again, they've made some decent signings.
They've signed better players than Leicester.
Well, Leicester have signed no one, so that's not hard.
Horrible.
But Leicester has still got a decent top half team, at least. They should be expecting to get top half every year, even if they don't sign players. I mean, obviously other clubs are going to do better things, but still Leicester have got a strong Premier League team.
I think Leicester will be in the scrap for a while, but they won't be in the relegation scrap.
I don't think Leicester are near relegation this season.
No, they'll be at the start of the year because they'll start slow and they've signed no one, so everyone's going to beat them. I think.
Maybe.
I think Southampton are definitely going to be close to getting down.
Yeah, so they love a 9-0 loss, innit, or 9-1 or whatever every year.
I think Nottingham Forest
smacked one game.
I think in my opinion, I'll probably be wrong in it, because I love being wrong. But Forest, I think will finish above Southampton, just because I feel like they'll have more fight to want to stay up, and Southampton will just be one of them teams that, oh yeah, we'll do it again, and they might actually fail this time. Look at Burnley.
Burnley, yes.
Burnley, way bigger team than Southampton, in my opinion. Way better, way more renowned in the Prem for being the destroyers of football.
That was a long time coming. I'm glad to see Burnley.
Have Southampton been down recently? They must have, innit? Because they weren't here for a while.
No, not for a long time.
They haven't been down?
I think
so. Their team's just been slowly going down.
Ricky Lambert and Chamberlain played them, and they're in League One.
Then they made their way up and they stayed there.
I think so.
They've got a good stadium. They've got a good community as well. Massive support.
Brilliant youth system. You can see even with we've gone and taken people like Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk from Southampton.
We took the Ox.
Well, yeah, the Ox, and he ended up with us, but He was a top talent at that time. Southampton, Gareth
At
Bale
16,
is
yeah.
another one. There's
Gareth Bale, yeah.
like they've always managed to find these players every now and then, even if it's not through their own academy, whether they've signed him from like I said, Celtic with Virgil van Dijk, signing him for a few million, selling him for 70. Like Southampton are a very good business, very well run club for me.
Their striker's good as well. I don't know if he's still there. Is it Gineppo or was the geezer that's quite good at?
I think he's been gone for.
Is he gone for time?
Yeah.
Who's their striker now then?
Last well, Shea Adams,
Adams.
Adam Armstrong. What's his name was there last year? Broja, who I thought actually was really good.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Broja is really
quite
good, but
tricky.
he's back at Chelsea, I believe, with the rest of the 30 players that were on loan from Chelsea last year.
That's what happens. That's actually what happens. So you're saying Fulham, are you saying Forest?
I think
Leeds, or are you saying Bournemouth
no,
and Leeds?
I'm saying I'm not 100% on the order just yet. I think
No, the order don't matter. Just who's going down.
but the bottom two between Fulham and Bournemouth, they'll work it out. They have got the quality and a young manager in Parker to be able to kind of be consistent, but I don't think it's this year, to be honest with you.
I think someone that will probably be in there as well is Brentford, because
Possibly.
they'll find their feet, but then teams that have now not known how to play against them have had a season or two with them,
Yeah.
and now they're working out, alright, cool, this is how we beat Brentford.
That's true. I mean, you could say it from the other side as well, that Brentford have now, they've done well in that first season when
Very
they
well.
come up, and they've kind of figured teams out as well as teams figuring them out, but they're more used to it now. They're used to the level. They're used to the consistency that they're going to have to play at to be able to avoid relegation again.
Yeah, I
And
think
they
the
weren't
Premier
far, they
League-
weren't close to it, really.
No,
last
they
year.
weren't far, but I think the Premier League now that you're seeing more and more clubs spend, you're seeing more and more clubs, even like Arsenal, spending on squad players.
Yeah.
Whereas we didn't do that before. We just made our 11 stronger.
But that's the thing, yeah.
Like Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United have kind of been concentrating on that, and I feel like that's trickled all the way down to the other clubs, because other clubs have good benches now. They didn't used to have the people that they can bring off the bench.
Ultimately, money in it is a main factor. Nobody else can really, they're just, even us, Liverpool, for years, you only really had a good starting 11. If you took anyone out of that starting 11, the team was nowhere near as good as it was before. Now, obviously, players that we've got on the bench and stuff like that,
Yeah, you got a good squad.
you can
Better
rotate,
squad,
and
a lot better squad,
you can see the difference that it makes being able to rotate a top player for, maybe not a top player, but a good player, a good replacement.
That's what I think Brentford don't have, and I think these Championship sides won't have it. So I feel like I don't know if Leeds have got the direction to actually stay up in the Prem, or if they're going to slip down into it. But
Yeah, I think for me, Leeds are definitely one of them clubs that are in a danger zone at the minute. Just sold Calvin Phillips, their best player, for years probably. You could see what they were like without Bamford last year. Now, I'm not a massive Bamford fan, to be honest with you, but he did score quite a few Premier League goals. If Bamford's not back, and he's not back firing immediately, Leeds are definitely in a danger zone. They've signed a few good players, young players though. That's a thing that it could be hit and miss. You sign in 21-year-old, 22-year-olds, trying to slot them into your team in a Premier League straight away, coming from foreign clubs. It doesn't always work out. It's one of them ones where it's risk and reward. You kind of have to balance that, really, because you're taking low risk by signing some of these players from abroad, young players, for not that much money, and your reward could be high if in a few years, or even straight away, they hit the ground running, and then maybe next year a big team comes and doubles the money you originally paid. That's football, isn't it? It's a
or you could end up
take
not
business.
spending a lot of money, but then
missing out.
losing the
Literally.
place in the Premier League, innit? And then
Not
you
having
think.
it.
And then you think, oh yeah, we've saved a lot of money, but then we've lost 100 mil, whatever you get from the Premier League.
like
innit?
trying to wheel and deal your way around.
That's why I think people now understand the job that Sean Dyche did. Because for them to stay up in the Premier and the money that they were spending is unheard of. If they was to come up next year and try to do the same thing, I don't think it'd be possible. I think it's just they had a reputation of going to Burnley and you drawing or losing.
They actually built that up, didn't they? I think.
Built it up.
I think it's just like
With
if you went
turf
to
moor.
Burnley, if you went to Burnley, it was just, it's not a nice day.
No.
Even though, well, whenever I watch Man City go and play Burnley, it was
6-0.
5-6-0. I don't know if could be easily paid for. I'd imagine a Burnley game, but we're
I
not
don't know.
we're not going into corruption today in football.
I think my three are probably. It's hard to go away from the three that came up in it because
that's what I'm thinking. Really,
the teams in the Prem are strong. They've been in the Premier League. They've had the fight last season. They know where they've gone wrong. They know what to do. So I don't know if I can go away from that. Maybe I put Brentford in there, or Leeds, but I can't.
I like Brentford's. I like how they played or how they go about things, which is why I still think they'll be alright. Because
I like Ivan Toney as well.
Yeah, and actually the stadium last year was a bit of a. They built a bit of.
And they beat us. There. They beat us there.
They drew with us.
Yeah, they've done well. I think
pitch is really close. The fans love it. They buzz off being in the Premier League, and the players are stepping up and they're thriving at the minute. I mean, Eriksen helped at that end of the season, and again, it's give and take.
That's why it might be Leeds, then, isn't it? That's why it might be Leeds. Only reason being is because they had Bielsa, and he was kind of like, in his own right, a person that kind of. But he played like they conceded loads.
But Bielsa ball did not work last year whatsoever.
No.
And you can't. Sometimes it's too rigid, and some of these managers that are highly regarded because of a style of play. Once that one style of play doesn't work.
Yeah, they're done.
That's it. It's pear-shaped, and then no one really knows what to do. The system is just automatically changed, and the players haven't got a clue what they're doing.
That's why I think that playing in the Championship and then coming up to the Prem is a whole different ballgame. Because like you can see it with players like Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Like he scores like 30, 40 goals in the Championship. I don't know how many he exactly gets, but and then he comes up to the Prem and he gets like nowhere near that amount. Like not even 10.
Again, I think obviously Fulham go from being the best team in the Championship by far as well normally to easily being the worst. That shouldn't really be the case.
No, you shouldn't. Like, that's why the gap's so big, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I can't really steer clear from any of the three coming up, like Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, and Fulham. I
think it's gonna be them three.
Yeah, because I can't fight a case for anyone.
Well, I would be delighted to see Everton back in the relegation dogfight just like they were last year.
That would be wonderful.
That would be very ideal. Just for fun, to be honest. Nothing really even against Everton like that. They've
lost. They've lost their best striker, if you want to call it.
Who's that?
Richarlison's gone. He's not good in it, but I don't know who scored their goals because it seemed to be no one last year.
For me, Richarlison, with the absence of Calvert-Lewin last year, Richarlison showed for me that he's not someone you can pin your hopes onto. He might be a good addition for this Spurs team now, and he adds something with the likes of Kane and Son and stuff like that. But he's never
not going to be the one star player.
Never been that guy.
But I can see Everton being in there, but I don't think when it gets to the end of the season, I don't think.
Realistically, you would think that with the investment and stuff like that Everton have around them, the belief, the club, the fan base, whatever else, that they shouldn't be in that position. They definitely shouldn't be in that position, but they are because of how poorly the club has been run.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. They buy players that not good enough for previous clubs, and Everton have always been that club that is just like, oh yeah, we'll take him. He's not good enough for you, yeah, we'll take him. That's what Everton are.
I don't think they're going to be in the relegation scrap. I don't think they're that bad this year, to be honest with you. They might be in it for fun, but I don't think they're going to be.
I don't think they're going to be in it. It would be nice again, like I say.
It would be nice for Tottenham to be in there, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think Everton are going to be any. I think Everton probably finish nearer towards like 12th, 11th this year, if not top side of the table.
You would think they need to really turn it around. If they're not top half by, well, at least comfortable mid-table by like Christmas, January, they got to start looking at Frank's job really. Because where do you improve from there? What do they expect him to do? Like there's a lot of money that gets put into this club. It's not being spent well. You've got a manager that is an England great, and you know he's loved by the fans and whoever else, and so he'll get a bit more time than somebody else probably would in his position. But that doesn't last for that long. We nearly got them relegated last year. Let's have it right. So if they're anywhere near in that same position by January, I think Lampard's out of a job. He could be one of the first managers to get sacked.
Probably, yeah. I don't see anyone else sacking their manager apart from Everton.
Fulham.
If it goes wrong, Fulham maybe, but
Fulham
they
love sacking
stopping managers. But I can't look past. Honestly, I can't look past the three that come up there. I reckon they're going straight back down. Fulham do it every year.
Yeah.
Bournemouth have just come back up, so it's going to be really hard for them to like settle themselves again and then stay up.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest.
See, Nottingham Forest my wild card. Definitely.
Yeah. But then who do you swap them for? Do you take Leeds out? Do you take Brentford? Do you take Southampton? Who swaps?
My
for
bottom
Nottingham
three.
Forest?
I'm gonna just say it that my bottom three is even, well, not in any particular order, but Fulham, Bournemouth, Leeds. That's my three that get relegated.
So you're saying Forest are staying up?
Yes.
They could stay up, to be fair.
I don't know why, they're just my wild card. I think because I haven't really seen much of Forest, especially last year in the FA Cup, they had a decent run. They played against Premier League teams and performed.
But they done well, yeah.
Admirably.
Beat us as well.
More than admirable against Premier League teams. Battered Leicester. So they're a wild card. They've added some decent players to their ranks. I'm interested to see what Jesse Lingard is like in a Forest shirt.
That's what I mean. I think it'll be
Big
good.
contract.
I think it'll be good.
Only a year to make it again, really. But again, that's what football is, give and take. If he plays well for them in this year, keeps them up, he's
Can
well
stay
within his
again,
rights to get a move to another club again.
I just stay with them, no?
He could stay with them, but he'll be within his rights to get a move, just like Ericsson did. Exactly the same situation.
He's gone United now.
Well, apart from the illness, but similar situation.
Yeah, no, I like Ericsson as a footballer. I don't know how much he adds to United at this stage in his career, but not much in it, to be honest with you.
He adds more than Fred and McTominay.
Well, true, yeah. I suppose you can't get worse, and you can't be going backwards, especially if you're finishing where United are finishing and can't really do anything else wrong.
I don't really know where he's going to play, to be honest. I don't know if they're going to try and play him holding midfield. I think it could work against the lesser teams, but if you're playing Ericsson holding midfield against the top four, you're going to get destroyed. You're just going to get
Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri.
And they'll play Bruno, you know that for a fact. So if you've got two players like Bruno and Ericsson, they're not running.
They're not up for the fight either.
They are not tracking back. No way.
No.
So if them two players play against us or City, we'll absolutely smash Man United.
I think most people are gonna have a fun time at Old Trafford this year. To be honest with you, I think we'll beat them again. But then we're bottle jobs, isn't it? So we'll leave it to the other clubs to take points off them. But United. I can't say I feel sorry for them now. I don't like the club, innit? Not at all.
No. But anyway, back on topic. What's your three? You haven't said.
I can't look past the three that came up. I really want to say Leicester, just for how badly they've used this transfer window, innit?
Yeah,
you
but
can't
at the same
do
time,
nothing. And their clubs, the players are not that good there for you to say, oh yeah, we don't
They're
need to
not
do
that good, but again, they haven't sold. You know, they haven't gone, all right, we're going to sell Tielemans, we're going to sell Maddison and Harvey Barnes, and then not bring no one in. Maddison's got a year older, Barnes is a year older, Tielemans is a year older.
Jamie Vardy is nearly 50.
Jamie Vardy
Still scoring 20 goals a year.
Jamie Vardy will be on the Zimmer frame still playing for Leicester.
I just think I want to try to fit someone else in because it's just obvious to say that.
That's why I'm swapping out Forest for Leeds. I'm swapping out my wild card.
If I had to swap anyone that I think would stay up, I would have to go with you and say Forest would stay up. But just to be different, I'm going to say Fulham might get it right this year.
After years
of trying, and I think Nottingham Forest will go down, Bournemouth will go down. I think Southampton will go down this year. I can't see any style. I can't see any.
Southampton's going down.
Yeah, I think Southampton are going to be another Premier League club to go. You know, because I feel like it will be either one of them three that kicks Southampton down. That's just obviously what happens, isn't it? But I think them three have more fight for me than Southampton, innit? Even Fulham, it might come down to quality at the end of the season and the amount of people you have still in your club and people that aren't injured.
Yeah.
Which Southampton probably do have a better squad in the Prem because they've been doing it for a number of years. But if he was going to swap anyone, I would probably swap Southampton because I don't see any style, innit? Who's the geezer there?
Hassan.
Is it Hasenhüttl? Yeah, see, he started off really well and then he started
He's
to
an
lose
interesting
all of his
manager.
best players.
Oh, I don't know, innit? It's a bit of a weird one. They have a kind of like you see a bit of progress and they take two backward steps. 2 steps forward, maybe 3 steps backward. That's the kind of team I see Southampton being. And they're like, Ward-Prowse has been there for years. He'll probably never leave.
The thing is that annoys me about Southampton is they'll beat us at home.
Yeah.
And then they'll play at home against Leeds and lose 4-0. Like, you can't do that, innit? It's not. You can't.
That's the inconsistency of the Premier League at times, though, isn't it?
But if you're in the scrap for that, for me, it's way more important to beat Leeds than to beat us.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because then you're taking the points off the geezer next to you. Don't worry about beating us. Worry about beating all the teams next to you. And I think that's probably what Brentford got right. That's probably what like Wolves got right. All these teams last year got right because they beat the big boys or they drew the big boys, and then just beat all the teams around them. That's what you have to do. If you beat your teams around you, you're not going to get relegated.
Well, you say that. To be fair, I think Norwich were actually the first team to beat Brentford. Brentford were probably the first team to give Norwich points last year. But even still, it's a one-off game. It can happen. Clearly, it's not the end of the world because Norwich were down in March. You could have said.
That's what I'm saying. But you have to pick up.
Well and truly.
You have to pick up points.
No,
like consistently, innit? At least pick up some points every month.
You need to beat your rivals. If you want to be winning or avoiding relegation, getting top 4, getting Europa League, you need to be beating the teams that are in and around your dogfight as well. Beating the teams that are below you is a given. You should be doing that anyway. You need to be winning games and taking points off the teams that are trying to achieve exactly what you're trying to achieve.
100%. Because I think even that the same thing with Southampton. You beat Arsenal, yeah, that's fine. But then the next 2 games you lose to Leeds and Brentford. So you've given 6 points to teams around.
And they do that, Southampton. They go through stages where it's like, oh, we've not won in 6 or 7 games, and then just like.
Then they beat City 1-0.
Yeah,
they beat like Liverpool or someone, innit? And then they won't beat Brighton or Palace or Wolves, or they won't.
That's why I'm kind of hedging my bets on Forest, not literally, but.
What, as in staying up?
Yeah,
I think they'll stay up. I mean, they might stay up.
If you can just, like I said, if you can just consistently beat the teams around you, nick points here and there of teams above, you'll be fine, really. That's
why I probably would say Southampton. I can't tell you what order it's going to be, but I'd say Southampton are going down with Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. I think Fulham might stay up because it's like they've probably been shouted at every single time. London club, they've come up, gone back down again. Like they've got the perfect. You get what I mean? They're on the river.
Yeah.
They've got good fans. Like they're in a prime location.
A decent place to play.
What if you made that stadium a bit bigger? You'd be one of the biggest clubs in London. The stadium's tiny.
Stadium's a joke.
Craven
Cottage. They still got them thing.
The poles in the way. I haven't seen it. Restricted view. Yeah, so
that was a horrible stadium.
It is, but then look at the location. Beautiful on the river. You look to the left. You see the Thames.
It'd be hard to build around that now.
No, they would have to move. I think. I don't know if they might be able to make one stand bigger.
Literally, or yeah.
But I don't know if they would be able to.
It'd be hard to build up where they are.
You could I don't know if you get planning permission, but yeah, it would be good to see Fulham do well because
it's probably very expensive as well. That's another thing.
Well, yeah. But yeah,
sure
Fulham.
Clubs get little discounts here and there, being sporting institutions.
Oh no, yeah, you'd get back by the government for making your club better, and then you get more staff and more people. Yeah, you make the people
surrounding area
community better. But yeah, no, I think Fulham might stay up. I probably will eat my words at the end of the season.
But Fulham won the league, so they should be, if anything, 18th, or like just getting out of relegation.
I think winning the league.
That's how it should work.
Winning the league is probably
easier
than
winning the
playoffs.
team. If you win the league, the championship, you should kind of be the 3rd worst team in the Premier League. 3rd worst? Yeah. 3rd worst. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you've come up with the other 2 teams who are supposed to be not as good as you. But I think winning that championship, if you're a club like Fulham, is easier than going through the playoffs. Because you've got to play more games, and you've got to play at Wembley.
Yeah, I think Fulham have gone through the playoffs before. I'm sure they have.
But I'm saying not this year. They won it automatically, didn't they?
I think they just destroyed the league this year. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. And if it's easy for you, then fair enough, innit? One team goes up automatically, and then the rest all do the playoffs.
No, 2 teams. So Fulham win the league. Bournemouth went up automatic 2nd.
And Forest won the playoffs.
Yeah.
For me, out of the 3, it would be like if you're going to rank them who's better of coming up, it would still go Forest higher than Bournemouth because they've come through that playoffs. Do you get what I mean? Obviously, over the season, 46 games.
I mean, I don't actually remember what they were like playing against each other. You could put it down to that ultimately. The 2 games they played against each other, who got the better of the other?
Who draw both of
put it
them.
down to that, innit, really. But yeah, no. So you're saying, well, the bookies here. Sorry, just to end, the bookies have Bournemouth favourite, so above.
So they're saying they're the worst team.
Yeah,
That
so
come
they
up. That's what I'm saying.
reckon
They're
Forest
going with me
have got a
basically.
better chance of staying up than Bournemouth.
Probably because they've seen a better squad. Lingard now. I wonder how that odd would have changed with Lingard signing. It might have been equal. Like both would have been like same
maybe.
odds. Because how many Premier League signings have Bournemouth made? They made any?
Not a lot.
I don't. Their team is decent. I remember when they were in the Prem like 2 years ago, obviously.
Bournemouth were a good football inside when they were in the Premier.
Yeah, they did well against Liverpool. Did well against Arsenal. I like watching
Eddie
them
Howe,
as a club. Eddie Howe was very
he
good.
done well for that club. Brought them all the way through the Football League, all the way into the Premier League. Cemented them in the Premier League for a while, and then eventually, you know, you have to continuously get back. So that's the problem, I think, with the Premier League. And eventually, that's why teams like Burnley would have went down, because you can have all the grit and determination and that solid style of play to stop teams from scoring. Sorry, but you need to have some quality to score. You need to score goals. To survive in the Premier League, you have to score goals. Like you've shown, because teams like even last year, I think United, even yourselves, Arsenal, your goal difference was like maybe not more than +10 or +5.
No, it wasn't. But we were like
terrible.
We were
compared
-1 for like nearly the whole season.
So that goes to show you that like the teams that are pushing for the Champions League are barely getting plus goal difference. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard. So the teams in
You
relegation
need to
are
score. You
definitely.
need to score goals. You need to even just get a big money striker and just hope that you just bang the goals.
Who have they signed though? I want to see who they signed. They signed anyone decent? If they sign decent players, then fair enough.
They signed with Ryan Fredericks at right back. I mean, he's a backup right back for West Ham.
Is that Joe? Is that? No, I thought that said Rodwell. I was gonna say.
Rothwell. So Rothwell's from Blackburn. So he's supposed to be a decent player. 27. Again, championship. You're signing a championship player.
You better hope he plays well, innit? That's what I'm saying. Because
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's why if you go down, you'll see everything in quick. Yeah.
You know, it's just. Yeah. So yeah.
And they've lost Cahill. Didn't really play any. Brady was decent for them. Or was Robbie Brady at Burnley?
Yeah,
More
Brady
so.
was
Yeah, he's
there.
at
Yeah.
Burnley.
He's just like.
So they haven't really lost anyone, and they've signed Ryan Frederick.
I
don't really fancy him, but you know, if you're coming
just
up to
taking
the
it
Prem,
at that. I mean, you need to improve. You need to improve. They're not better than Fulham.
yeah, go to Nottingham Forest. All I have to say, obviously,
You'll see.
Jesse Lingard is a very decent signing compared to those.
You see the money that they've spent compared to Bournemouth. You'll be surprised. Lingard, 200k a week though.
Well, if you're gonna stay in the Premier League, it's definitely
It's
worth
worth
it.
it, and it's a year. It's only a year contract.
These are loads of signings.
Yeah,
Come
so
on, Wayne
look
Hennis.
at
Come
this.
on.
So I want to look.
Come on.
So Taiwo,
They signed someone for nearly 20 mil.
geezer from Union Berlin. I think he actually used to. I'm sure he used to play for Liverpool.
Nah,
Yeah,
they're
he did.
signing people for
He used to play for
20
Liverpool. I
mil.
don't recognise the name, but yeah. So he went off to Germany for a few years. 24 now. So they've signed a striker for 20 mil. Right, that's the first one. Nico Williams at right back for 20 mil.
It's got to be the worst 18 mil ever spent.
Maybe, but he looked wicked for Fulham in the Championship.
In the
last year.
Championship, remember?
Yes, again, yeah. Free
Jesse
transfer,
Lingard.
Jesse Lingard.
Oh, that's not bad. You know what? That's not bad. West Ham would have loved to have him back. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I would take it. Yeah.
Who's this? They're signing centre backs as well from
Dean
that.
Henderson. Dean Henderson on loan. I think
That's-
that's a Premier League goalkeeper for sure.
That's a very good.
They
sign.
sold their goalkeeper Bryce Samba, so I think that's good business on their part, to be honest.
Yeah, they got him on loan as well, so they're only paying him his wage.
Niakate, Musa Niakate.
I haven't heard of that. Where's he from? Frankfurt or somewhere?
No, that looks like Mainz.
Mines. Well, listen, Germany, the German defenders and that, yeah, the people that learn their trade in Germany,
Yeah.
they might be whatever. What's his geezer? French.
26, Frenchman, centre back.
Yeah, French centre back that learn his trade in Germany. Yeah, decent. That's I'm happy.
9 mil
I'm happy.
again. Not too much in today's market at all. Could work out. Could go brilliantly for them. Another French fullback this time. Julien Biancone.
That's not bad though. I
Detroit,
don't know.
another 9 million signing. Not heard of him before, to be quite honest.
But these lot are
22-year-old.
doing business though.
Omar Richards, that's an interesting one actually. I've known about Omar Richards for quite a while.
From Bayern Munich.
Yeah, he signed. Who did he sign from? I want to say Arsenal or something.
Yeah, these lot are doing business.
No, it was Reading. Sorry, Fulham to Reading. Reading throughout all them years. Signed for Bayern for 6
And if you
months.
go to Fulham, so for me, Nottingham Forest are by far ahead of Bournemouth. Right?
And again, okay, so two Huddersfield. These are two of the best players that Huddersfield have as well. Lewis O'Brien, centre midfield, and Harry Toffolo. Again, very consistent footballers. Again, in the Championship, so we're not too sure how that's going to translate to the
Good
Premier
squad
League.
players though, probably.
But they're improving. You can see clearly the difference. They're improving their squad.
Way more than Bournemouth.
Way more than Bournemouth.
Bournemouth ain't done nothing. Fulham, they got the money, so I'm expecting to see a few different signings. They should make a signing centre midfield and centre back to just make it stronger.
Interesting. I think a couple interesting signings actually. Okay, so Joao Palhinha, Sporting CP, 18 million.
They're signing sporting players. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
That's decent.
There's some
That's
good players
buy.
to be found in the Portuguese league. For
No
sure.
way did they get a United player.
They got Andy Pereira, Andreas Pereira.
He's
That's a
alright.
decent sign. I mean, he went on
For
loan.
them, for them it's
He
good.
went on, where was he? He went on loan. I think he went to Brazil last year. I want to say like Corinthians or something like that. But he was on loan last year anyway. He was the Man United scouts. I remember someone said they went out and they were looking at someone in that game, and they were raving about Pereira, and it was already their own player. It's just sums up United, but yeah. So again, that's a decent. I mean, Premier League. He's a Premier League player.
That's not. I don't have anything bad to say about that. To be fair.
9 million. I mean, you can't really complain about any 10 million signings
Nah, not in this.
from Premier League players like
So
Pereira
this-
was. Yeah, you can't complain at that. I don't think. Kevin and Bamboo, Swiss right back from Wolfsburg.
So I'm saying German defenders.
Yeah,
decent.
but when you're buying players from the German league is a pretty. It's not a safe bet completely, but it's a fairly safe bet. I think that's the German league is probably like the closest to the Premier League in terms of
Work rate.
pace and
quality,
physicality.
yeah.
I would say.
I think yeah, because the French league is nowhere near. Spanish league is nowhere near.
Portuguese league is better than French league.
Portuguese league is better. The Championship is
competitive.
probably up there with some of them as well.
Championship's up. Yeah, Championship's up there.
That's why these lot sign Championship players. Fair enough, innit? Because they know they do.
The quality wise, but for difficulty, for physicality, and for consistency that you have to stay at to win and be successful in that league. So hard. 46 games.
So looking at this, obviously we've still got 30 days left of the transfer window. But looking at this, Bournemouth are finger in the worst position.
Manuel Solomon, see, he's a player that I've already known because of Football Manager, but on Football Manager he's very highly rated. And wingers from Shakhtar, they don't do too bad normally. Wingers
No,
from
normally
Shakhtar,
decent.
Israeli left winger,
They got
23.
Is that
Steven Sessegnon, so that is
his brother?
I guess what's his name? Ryan's brother.
That's not a
And
bad.
he was at
sign.
Fulham as well before, I'm sure. Steven Sessegnon
That's not
Yeah, he
bad.
was, yeah, so
That's
he's just-
not bad.
just joined them back.
I think Bournemouth. From listening to that, Bournemouth are going down. Fulham, maybe. Nottingham Forest. Right. From what I said, Fulham might get it right this year because they've got it wrong so many other times, innit? But from listening to the transfers now,
Yeah.
I'll have to agree with you and say that Nottingham Forest are probably the only ones that are looking at this day now. Unless these lot do an absolute
That's-
madness
yeah,
in
so-
the last 30 days.
I'm gonna say based on this as well. I'm not gonna change my mind, but I'm just gonna say Fulham haven't done what they tried to do a couple of times before they came up to the Prem, signed a load of players, tried to put them in the squad in 1 year, make it work. It just didn't work. They've only added 5 players, one of which was a former Fulham player, so he kind of gets the whole thing anyway. So 4 players, 4 good additions, I actually think, to be honest. To see how it works out. But they haven't tried to do anything too mad. They've not tried to sign a whole new starting 11,
No.
make them start the Premier League when they're just not going to have the same ideas, and they're not going to click in a month. What do you expect them to do in a month and 2 months in
It's
pre-season?
not going to happen. And this year is going to be quite strange because of the break for the World Cup.
Yeah, true.
And then
Yeah.
Some players will come back tired, way more tired
Maybe
than
even
others. maybe even injured.
Maybe even injured.
So clubs like Fulham, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, are, from my personal opinion, are definitely going to have an advantage when they come back from the winter break because their players won't play in the World Cup.
Some of them, they'd be surprised though.
Some of them will, but I don't think the players like Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United.
It'll be interesting to see because then, if like as Fulham could have certain players like Mbambu and stuff like that and Paulinho, I don't know if they play for this. I know Mbambu plays for Switzerland.
But how far is he really going to? I'm talking about
It
Brazil,
depends on how far,
Germany.
Yeah,
do you get what I mean? France, like the players like that, they're going to make it the full length of it, and they're going to be tired.
Yeah.
And then they have to come back in the Prem and then do.
Like smaller squads in it. That's what I'm saying.
In December.
Them teams that are letting them players go to the World Cup normally have bigger squads, not immediate quality replacements.
Yeah, but bigger
But
squads.
still a bigger squad. And if teams like Fulham have got players going to the World Cup and they go and get injured, then there's real trouble. They haven't got the squad to back that up.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm thinking maybe 2 go down that have come up, and then 1 from the Prem is swapping for one of them.
Yeah.
Because
I'm still sticking. I reckon that Nottingham Forest is my wild card. Forest and Fulham and Bournemouth, will be relegated, and yeah, I'm gonna chuck Leeds in there as well because I'm not sure they've got it worked out yet. I'm not sure Jesse Marsh has got it worked out. They have signed a few young players, and they have to hit the ground running from day one. I mean, it's very hard to do. So yeah.
I think it has to be Southampton, Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth. I'm only saying Fulham because I'm sticking to it because I feel like if they do actually make a change and start to play well, I hope that they can stay in because they're a good club.
Yeah.
And they've got good fans, but it is definitely going to be tight this year. I think because you're going to see squads being stretched.
Yes, World Cup. It's going to be an interesting, very different season for sure.
Very different.
With the World Cup in the middle of halfway through, or not even halfway through.
I think we might see someone like Leicester or Wolves or someone that we don't expect in that scrap in January. They'll probably make it out, but they'll be in the scrap in it because I think that the quality all round now is just a lot better. Like a lot better. Like you're going.
I agree. Now all round, I agree. I think the quality is a lot better. And you're getting like a lot of teams now. Actually, if you notice in the Premier League, are attacking quite possession-based teams. Especially with the teams that came up. I mean, Fulham very much like that. Forest the same. Bournemouth have always kind of been like that. So yeah, I think the quality of the Premier League is improving. So let's just see what happens next year, really.
I think it's going to be a good league. To be fair, I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
there's going to be good games, but it's all going to be up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah. So big money signings from big clubs, even from the smaller clubs as well. Good deals being made. So it's exciting.
Be a much more. I think it might be a bit closer than it was last year because it can't be that separated. It might be again.
Do you mean at the top?
At the top, yeah, and even at the bottom. Like last year, there was still quite a lot of teams in that scrap, but there was not many teams involved in coming first.
Yeah.
I think that might be balanced a bit more better this year because I feel like teams like Tottenham with Conte, Man United, I think they'll start taking points from Man City now.
Hopefully, bloody hell.
Start taking points, and the lower clubs
lay down.
as well.
They play against Man City.
Wolves and that, I think they might start taking points off Man City. Because you see at the back end of last season, teams started to find them out, you know.
Well,
started to nearly win. They were going in at 2-0 at half time, still losing 4-2.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that. I think it was just more City
might have been tired,
being off their day. To be honest with you, that's all it has been.
But it's going to be fun though.
Yes, a big player joining the league, so we'll see. But I think that just about rounds up our relegation review for the season. We'll be back again for what we're going to do, a top 4 one.
Probably top 4, and then maybe just look at either covering the whole table or just doing like who's going to finish in the mid.
We could try and do a whole table, and that'd be interesting to see what happens at the end of the year because, yeah, we've had some mares actually.
We've had super mares with how we predicted
West Ham.
West Ham.
Never forget West Ham. West Ham. We still have to apologise to West Ham to this day.
Yeah, that's mad. Mental. It would be quite cool to see a full 20 in it. Might have to do a full 20 and then
We'll
work
try
out.
and do a full 20. Thank you so much for watching. We've been Prem Pods. We'll be back again soon. Take care.